My birth story with Silas was very normal. We went to the hospital, had a normal delivery, just like normal. Your pediatrician comes to check up on him, but he had a very distinct red mask on his face. She said that it definitely seemed strange, but it wasn't something that she had really seen before. But other than that, everything was normal. And so they sent us home. We were first-time parents, so you're taking the word of what they're telling you. The next day she called me and asked me to come in again. She wanted her partner in the practice to look at him. He looked at him for maybe a minute, and he told me that he believed was called epidermolysa bullosa, and then he kind of sent us on our way. I was trying to figure out what was going on, so I took my 1-week-old baby and I asked the dermatologist if he would look at him, and he graciously said yes. He did assure me that he did not think that it was EB. He took a biopsy and did some things, but that he had no idea what it was. At 4 weeks old, he had his first hospital stay. At this time, his skin was getting redder, more kind of inflamed and infected looking. We were able to rule out some things pretty quickly, but he did have MRSA and he had staph scalded skin. So we kind of went home with just those diagnoses. I would say in his first 1 or 2 years of life, he probably had 15 to 20 hospital stays. So it was kind of this constant cycle of in and out of the hospital, not to really diagnose what was going on with him. He was about 7 months old when we had the official diagnosis that it was Netherton Syndrome. Netherton Syndrome is a genetic condition, and it is a overreaction of a protein which causes a spectrum of different issues affecting the skin: inflammation, irritation. He experiences significant skin infections, kind of a constant itch. He is known to get inflammation, we call it a flare, where his skin is kind of really red.
My legs and arms are really bad. They get the worst of it probably because there's like skin scabs almost all over my arms and legs, and it's probably the most difficult part of Netherton.
We've definitely had to miss some days of school. If he wakes up and it's hard for him to walk or hold his pencil, there are days where he has to stay home and miss school. It's hard to look at your child and not be able to just take away pain or insecurity. As a mom, we all want our kids to have the easiest path that they can. We try to be as positive as possible, but there are definitely days it's hard as a parent to see your kid go through it.
It kind of makes me feel awkward because I don't really know that much about my skin either, so I kind of just roll with it or what they kind of say. So the people having comments about my skin and just like saying, "Oh, do you have a sunburn?" I just try to get back into a good mood because, well, it's better if you're in a good mood than a bad mood. So
I feel like once we kind of really accepted that, there is no cure, but let's focus on living the best life that we can, then we took a good turn there. Over the years, Silas has wanted to play football because he doesn't sweat and it's very hard for him to cool off. It had always been a no. We still had to take lots of precautions, but ultimately he was able to play football in fall of 2024.
It was really fun. It was hot a lot, but we had a lot of ice. We had a lot of just cooling devices, and I didn't get overheated. I think I did pretty good for my first season.
My biggest hope is a cure. I do hope that someday that he hears, hey, you can take this medication and it's gonna take these things away that make your life harder. If you're someone with Netherton, my advice would be just to be the biggest advocate that you can for yourself or your child, to make sure that you're asking questions, that you're doing research, and to also just try to live your life as, optimistic and happy as possible.